This is Lunatic. Lunatic is almost like 13s if you've ever played that. You have a hand of cards and you're just playing them out in singles, doubles, or triples and trying to relieve your entire hand of cards. It is for 3 to 4 players, plays in about 10 minutes, and I would probably recommend 12 being the age to start at. Let's check it out. This is Lunatic. It comes with 44 cards, 36 regular cards numbered 1 through 12, and 8 special cards. Now the game is super simple. What you're going to want to do is relieve your entire hand of cards to win the game. So start by dealing 1 card to each person until the whole deck is empty. Now for this specific game, I'm not using the special cards. A hand may look like this. You'll have singles, maybe doubles, maybe triples. In this specific experience, I have, looks like, a double 3. Now, how it works is extremely simple. The person who has the initiative, or most of the time the person who drew the cards, gets to take cards from their hand and play it out in singles, pairs, or triples, and then states what the card is. It has to be a single card. So, since I have 2 3s, I'd probably go, okay, 2 3s, and I'd put this face down. So my opponent would have to beat that number with a higher number, but also play pairs. So he would look at his cards and he'd be like, well, I could play the double 1, however, that's not higher than the 3, so that wouldn't work. I could play double 7. So he would say double 7. Now, what else happens in this game? So the third player looks at their hand. Now keep in mind, there's double 3s and double 7s. But this is a bluffing game, and there's a possibility that this player didn't actually play the card they said they'd play. So what does that mean? Let's say player 1 played down their double 3s and said 2 3s. Player 2 looks at his hand and he's like, I could play these double 7s, and obviously I wouldn't be lying and I'd be getting the doubles out, or they could play the double 1s instead. See that? And just bluff and be like, okay, double 5s. Or 2 5s, when they actually didn't play 2 5s. So the third player can what they call doubt or confirm. Now let's say she does not believe this player played 2 5s, right? Calling his bluff. If she does not believe it, she could turn the cards over. And as you see here, the cards were called. This person was obviously lying, and now this player has to take the whole deck of cards into their hand. Because this happened, this player now gets the initiative or starts the next round. Now this person, they just want to get some cards out of here. They obviously have the 2 12s at top and a nice solid array of cards listing up, so some pretty high valued cards, so it would be smart for them to get started with just playing a single card. So they're going to say single 2. And they'll go, and then we'll go again, and we can't play 1 or 2 because this is a 2, but we could definitely lie about it. So I'll go 3, which is pretty reasonable. Sounds pretty legit. No one would call me out for that. Then this player goes, and they're like, okay, no problem. Double 3s, I don't, obviously don't want to waste that. Luckily I don't have to. And they're going to say 4. So there's another bluff. And this player goes and plays a 5. Now, let's say we don't believe that was actually a 5. Maybe they're trying to get rid of some of their lower cards too, like we did. We could say false, right? Like, oh, we're doubting that. I don't think this is a 5, and turn it over. We were wrong about calling their bluff. Now, since I was wrong, that means that I have to take the cards from the deck. Now this player gets the initiative again because they were the ones called out. Now, one last thing. A player may play cards face up, single 3, just to kind of force that their cards can't be doubted. And you can just keep going, like, okay, I'll play a 5, a single 5, and they're going to play a single 6, and so forth. The first person to relieve their hand of all their cards wins. In this specific demo set, there are 3 types of cards. Now, I know in the Kickstarter and in the other version there's different cards, different specials available, but I'm just going to showcase the 3 special cards that are in this set. There are the satyrs, the shapeshifters, and the astronomers. Now, what they do is pretty simple for this style of game. The astronomers can be played at any time, and they doubt cards instantly. The shapeshifters are pretty much the wild card, and they work for any cards in the game. You can even create 4 of a kinds with these. And these satyrs, I actually have no idea how to say that word. I've always seen it though. Players must tell the truth when this is played in front of them. So now you know how to play Lunatic. So this is pretty much like 13s, except they have special cards. I think the special cards feel a little fluffy. I don't really feel like it is necessary because they kind of just do the same thing that the game includes. Maybe you could do it out of order, or maybe you can add a wild card to get 4 of a kind, right? So it doesn't add much to the game. I get where they were going with it. Like I said, the new cards online, I think, add more to the game. Not sure. I haven't looked at it. Yes, it's really fun. However, I do feel that I wish there were more cards in the game, because quite often we did not see more than like doubles show up in the game. It calls for triples. However, when you have more people in the game, very rarely do you find triples, because there's only 3 of a kind in each game. I think adding 1 more of each type would have been helpful, but whatever. I digress. It's not even like that big of an issue. It's fun. It's a very simple game. I would rather play 13s just because there's more cards involved. But I mean, if you don't have a deck of cards, or if you're trying to play like a very simplified version of it with a theme and a story, this is definitely a game to check out. This is a pretty good game night game. Definitely a filler game. It's super short. I think that's the appeal to it, is because it is a short game that plays like 13s. The artwork's pretty interesting on the special cards. I'd love to see what the new cards look like. Yeah, if this looks like a game you're looking forward to or would like to play or check out more of, definitely do some research and look up Lunatic and see what you think. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment. See you in the next video.